Hey Falcons, it's Mrs. Pagoni. I'm going to help you cite a web page in Noodletools. You need to either start a new project or open your existing project. Once you get to the project page, you're offered many options. Today we are citing our sources, so we're going to head up to the middle and click on the Sources tab. I need to head over to the left-hand side of this page to create a new citation for my MLA Works Cited. We are citing a website today, so I'm going to click on Website. Most often, you are going to be citing a web page within a website. There are other options here you can look at. I'm going to cite a web page today. When this opens up, don't be overwhelmed. It looks like you need a lot of information about the web page, and you do, but once you get going, it's not as hard as it looks. At the top, you can just double check that you are citing a web page from a website. If you go over here to the far right, you can click on this blue button at any time just to give you an idea of what your citation will look like when you're done. The first piece of information we need from our website is the URL. We can copy and paste or type this in here. I will suggest that you stop at .com when we do put this information in, otherwise the citation will be too long. The next piece of information we'll add is the date of publication for the website. Usually we'll find this information at the very bottom of a website, often in tiny print. Sometimes there's no month or day, just a year. That's okay, we'll type that in if that's what we find. The next piece of information is the most recent date of access. Typically that will be today because you will be looking at it as you're citing it, so I can just click on the word today to generate that date. Next, it asks for the contributors to the web page. That would be someone like an author, an editor, or a translator. It would be their name. If you do not see the name of a person who contributed to a web page on it, don't panic. You can leave those boxes blank if they are not listed. Next, you're looking for the name of the web page within the website that you are citing. So it won't be the name of the full website, but of the actual page or article you're looking at. If it is in a language other than English, you should include the English translation here, but most often you'll keep that blank. As I scroll down, you can see that I'm going to need the name of the website as a whole, the publisher of the website, which is typically listed at the very bottom near the copyright date, and again, if a contributor to the website as a whole is listed, you will see the editor's name somewhere on the page, but if it's not, you may leave that part blank. The second to last part asks you to list the edition, the version, and the revision. These are not always listed on a website. In fact, they're not often listed on a website, so typically you will leave those blank unless you see them on the website. And finally, if your teacher asks you to create an annotated bibliography, you will include your annotation in the box, but if they don't, you will leave that blank and click Submit. We're going to head over to a website to find this information and try it together. So here is the web page within the website that I am going to cite today in MLA format through Noodletools. If you'll take a look at the very top, I can copy and paste this URL. Remember, I'm going to use the shortened version of the URL. It's not a .com, it's a .uk. That's okay. I'm just going to take this portion of it because I know it will take me back to the BBC website. I don't need all that extra information at the end. The name of my website is here at the top left, BBC. It's often at the top left-hand corner of a web page. The name of the page within the BBC site that I am citing is William Shakespeare, The Life and Legacy of England's Bard. If I go down a little bit further, here's a date, 26 April 1564. That is not my published date. That's not my copyright date. Don't be fooled. This is a timeline. I'll tell you that I looked through the page pretty extensively. There is no author, there is no editor listed anywhere on this page for this website, so that's okay. I'm going to skip that information. But when I get down to the bottom of the page, I will find some more information I need, and that would be the copyright date and the publisher. So here at the top bottom, in tiny print, I can see that it was copyrighted in 2017 by the BBC. So I'm going to use BBC as my publisher. It's okay that it's the same name as my website. That's often true. So I'm going to head back to Noodletools to enter that information. Here on the Noodletools page, I am going to put in my URL first. I'm going to head down to my date of publication, and I am going to put 2017 because that is the copyright date. My most recent date of access is today, so I will click that to generate it. I was not able to find a contributor. There was no author, editor, or translator listed, so I'm going to leave that part blank. The name of the web page within the website, I copied and pasted it into this box. I scroll down. I need to fill in my website name, which we know was the BBC. It asks for the publisher, and it actually tells me to leave this field blank if the publisher's name is the same as the site name, so I am going to leave it blank. I was not able to find an editor, so I will skip that portion, and there was no addition, version, or revision, so I will also skip those. My teacher is not requiring this to be an annotated bibliography, so I will skip the annotation and click Submit. This portion in the middle of the page is my citation for the William Shakespeare web page. I can edit it over on the right by Options. If this is my only source, I can head up to Print Export to generate my works cited, or I can continue citing by clicking Create New Citation. And now I've just finished citing my first web page.